Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whenever you are watching this either on RetroRareTV.com or Facebook, or watching this as one of my subscribers here on YouTube. It is the D-O-U-G here this Sunday morning for a very special video. As you can see in the title, this is a list of PS1 games I just picked up this weekend, Friday actually. Yeah, I got them at my local play and trade, in Carytown. So if you live in the state of Virginia, in Richmond to be more specific, you should know where that is. Okay? If you do, definitely go there because they have great retro games, PS1, Genesis, yada yada yada. You all know what a play and trade is if you have watched the Game Chasers enough times. Anyway, the games I picked up there, and I count them as follows. I picked up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now you can expect a review of these games later this year, because I'm gonna make it that my summer. Most of these will probably be a summer project, But anyway, let's start with what I got. The first game I got, which was about $8, not bad. I can live with the price. It wasn't too high, but not too low. It's from Electronic Arts. Road Rash Jailbreak. There's what it looks like, guys, if you have not seen the cover, and there is the back. Now, Road Rash has a very interesting history. Road Rash is a motorcycle, it's somewhat of a motorcycle game. It's, you're pretty much riding on a motorcycle, and you get to beat people up with your fist, kick them, or use a weapon of your choosing. Now, what was interesting about Jailbreak, is the fact it had a sidecar, which was new for the game at the time, I believe. Yeah, it was new at the sidecar. Now, the modes in this game, you had Jailbreak mode, which you rise to the game, you break out your buddy. You get to be a cop and beat up the gang. You got 5 multiplayer modes. There's, more fighting and new music. So they had a lot of those features. Now, this game was 2 players. It could be 4 players if you have the multi-tap. Or in my case, since I played on the PS3, just need 4 controllers. Hopefully it's a good game as I remember, because unfortunately I do not remember it, which is unfortunate. Now, of course, other Road Rash games as well. You had 1, 2, Tour de Force, Road Rash 3DO, and all that. Now, now Road Rash did come out on the PlayStation. Even came, so try to look for that as well. Now, Road Rash Jailbreak was released in '99 or 2000 for us guys in the U.S. And this version was even adapted on the Game Boy Advance, so that tells you something. Hopefully it's a good game as I remember. I shall see when we get to it. Now, the next game, it is what it is. It's Monopoly, It's the greatest hits version, actually. Monopoly, board games, are usually very popular on the home consoles. If you have a PS3, there is a Monopoly game, and it's actually kind of fun. I used to own it. But I wanted to pick this one up because, like I said, I'm rebuilding my PS1 collection. And I figured since I am a fan of the Monopoly game, and this is the old school Monopoly, not Monopoly Street Fighter, not Monopoly fucking Mario Party, not Monopoly Lord of the Goddamn Rings, old school original Monopoly, which can have up to 8 players if you have the multiplayer tap, or the 8 fucking controllers for the PlayStation 3. And also has mouse capability. I don't have a PlayStation mouse. I didn't even know there was a PlayStation mouse. So there goes the gun to the head on that one. Next game. By the way, I picked up Monopoly for about $5. That's not a bad price for a board game. It is what it is, So yeah. Now the next game, I have to tell you something. The only reason I picked it up was because of the fact it's a trivia game, and I love my trivia games. Always have. As I recently picked up earlier this week a National Geographic quiz. Just because I love for the PlayStation 3, but this is PlayStation 1. And it is this. Power Play Sports Trivia. Okay? So that should tell you how I feel about this. In case anybody asks, the back of Monopoly, in case I forgot. Ooh, yeah. Anyway, Power Play Sports Trivia. Picked it up for $3. It's a trivia game about basketball, hockey, baseball, and the NFL National Football League. I'm not saying what the other name for it, because then I'm gonna get people from Europe confused. Trivia game. See, if you get it, you gotta be either a big sports fan. That's pretty much gonna be the thing of the day for this. You're gonna have to be a big sports nut. It is multiplayer as usual. 4 players if you have the multi-tap or 4 PS3 controllers. So yeah, so if you're a big sports nut, I definitely recommend picking it up. I had it back as a kid. Had to pick it up again because, you know, it's one of the games I had as a child. Next. Okay, I'm going to be honest. This game's probably not great. And I paid $10 for it. But, you know what? It's one of my favorite music groups, and it's a pinball game. Kiss Pinball, baby. Yeah, yeah, 1 player only. It's pretty much Kiss meets Pinball. So, yeah, you're probably... the only ones I could really see even picking this game up besides me. Because I liked it and my mom liked it. So, hey, there's something family can play together. If you're sick and psychotic like the rest of the world. I can only recommend this game just even by looking at it. Because it's going to only hit a specific crowd of either guys who are big Kiss fans or somebody who loves pinball games. Other than that, you're probably not going to want to get it, and it was $10. Probably a little bit over in price of pain, but I can live with it. Next, this one I actually never owned, but I saw reviews of it and Let's Plays of it on YouTube, and I figured, you know what, let me give it a word. Bruce Willis in Apocalypse. Yes. I picked that up. It's from the guys from Activision before they went to shit. It's 1 player, you know. Pretty much it's the end of the world. You're Bruce starring as... Who gives a fuck what his character name is in this? You're pretty much the sole defender of the world. It's up to you to defeat the 4 horsemen before its happy twist to us all. Pretty much, long story short, think Dean from Supernatural has his own fucking video game. You know, but it is fun, you know. I picked it up for $5. Probably not bad. Not a bad price, you know. I can't really say how much it would be normally because I usually never looked at it. So, you know, maybe I paid way low. Maybe I overpaid. I don't know. Maybe somebody watching this might know. Yeah. Hopefully it's good from what I've seen of the videos and when I Let's Plays. People are having fun with it, so hopefully I get to as well. Else, you know, it's only $5 I'm out of, so not bad. Next, now these 3 games all have one theme in common. They're all James Bond. First, the 007 Racing. That is right, 007 Racing. Paid $5 for it, you know. James Bond games have a history of being hit or miss. We know this. Because it is what it is, you know. It is what it is. Anyway, 007 Racing came out in 2000. So it's not that old. And this, ironically enough, this does have Pierce Brosnan in it, but not his voice. So that's a little weird. Now, of course, most of the gadgets and weapons, from what I do remember of this, are inspired by the Bond films, Goldfinger, The Spy Who Loved Me, and The Living Daylights. It's pretty much, from what I recall, a racing game with insanity. So, yay! Believe. Hopefully it's as good as I recall. Now the next James Bond game, which should not surprise anybody. I mean, no, it's not GoldenEye. I know some people would hope it is, but it's not. It's by the way, I paid $5 for 007 Racing if I didn't say it. Tomorrow Never Dies. Now, Tomorrow Never Dies is pretty much third-person shooter. Honestly, not this. This is the first of the 007 games of many that was published by Electronic Arts regarding the James Bond license. Mr. Tomorrow Never Dies. Now, Pierce Brosnan's again. This would mark the second game of his appearance, but he would not be voiced by Pierce Brosnan. Only his likeness was in the game. Now, of course, was it probably as successful as GoldenEye was back then? No, but it is James Bond, so hopefully it's good. You know, I love James Bond, so I might give this one some slack. Came out, by the way, if anyone wants to know, November 16th, 1999. So that was getting near the end of the year when we all were feeling the Y2K bug. Yay. Now, the last James Bond game on this list is The World Is Not Enough, which is a first-person shooting video game, folks. This was published by Electronic Arts once again and released on the Nintendo 64 and PlayStation back in 2000. But it was developed by two different companies. Anyway, once again, this game marks the fifth appearance of Pierce Brosnan James Bond in the game. Includes his likeness, but once again, not his voice. So yeah. The game came out for the PlayStation November 16th in 2000. By the way, this also had a Game Boy Color version. That scares the fuck out of me. Now, out of the James Bond films, this is one of the reasons why I wanted to pick them up and not get them on the, you know, if I had a 64 and not pick them up on that. They contain cutscenes from the film before a mission starts or when a mission is ended, which the 64 version lacks. So keep that in mind. By the way, all the James Bond games, well, most of them, the 007 Racing 1 does have 2 players. Tomorrow Never Dies is 1 player only. And same with 007 The World Is Not Enough. So yeah, hopefully those are good. It did get good scores back then on the 64. The PlayStation 1 did not, but let's see if it holds up. Now, next. Probably the most expensive 2 I picked up. So yeah, let's talk about those in better detail. Now, I'm going to be honest, the first one, before I even show you what it is, just got to give a history of what it is. It's a Dracula game, which I know some people usually stay away from. But this Dracula game to me is one of my favorites. It is Dracula, the Resurrection. Excuse me, gotta take a drink. I'm sure a lot of you guys would know this. Came out in 1999 as a point-and-click adventure horror game. So right off the bat, I'm just going to say, if you hate point-and-click games, you will probably not like this. Okay, I can just tell you that right now. You're not going to like it. It is 2 discs, by the way. So that's a novelty when you know, because nowadays, everything's just 1 disc. But back then, you did need multiple discs. It does have mouse capability because it is point and click. It is 1 player. Yeah. But it only came, now when it came out originally in '99, it was pretty much for the PC and the PlayStation. Now, ironically enough, there were also there was a Dracula 2, The Last Sanctuary. Excuse me. That came out in 2000, which I will be trying to pick up. Because that's one I did not own originally, but I would love to, so hopefully I have good luck finding it. Now, the last 2 Dracula games after that, Dracula 3, The Path of the Dragon, That would not get released on the PlayStation. It would only be released on the computer. PC, you know, shit like that. Apparently it was an iPhone adapt, but I highly fucking doubt it. Again, that's one of those rumors shit. Now, there is a Dracula 4, currently in development. That's why I want to talk about it. For the PlayStation 3 and 360 as a sequel to Dragon 3, The Path of the Dragon. It would be the 4th installment of the series. Now, there's no release date yet. It would be the third game by Resurrected New York publisher-based MTV Games. Now, again, it may say currently in development, but it probably may not come out. If it does, I want to say it comes out on next gen. Most likely, it could still come out on PlayStation 3, but who knows? But if you like point-and-click adventure games, or you're a big fan of Dracula like me, definitely pick it up. I paid $15 for it. Normally I thought that was a little bit over in price, but, you know, because it's a game from my childhood, I have no complaints about picking it up for that price if it's a game, you know, I picked up as a child. You know, that's something I think we all agree when we're hunting for old games from our past. You know, if it's games we played, we probably don't care too much as how much the price is going to be. Now, if we never played it, yeah, we're going to be worried about the fucking price. Now the last game. Oh boy, is this one a doozy. Now, before I even show you what it is, let me just give you a little bit of its history. This game is probably, without a doubt, the worst game in its franchise. The worst, okay? The worst one in history. I think we can agree on that if you ever played it. Now, with that being said, of course, this game was already looked at before by somebody on the RetroWare website, if you are watching this through it, and that was Happy, the video game nerd. He looked at it as the, is it really that bad? So that should tell you what it is. If you haven't figured it out yet, keep watching. But if you're trying to figure it out, pause, and so you know, because I don't want to spoil it. But if you have kept on watching, here's what it is. Resident Evil Survivor. Yeah, I paid $15 for it. Yeah, I know there's a crack on the case, but the disc works fine. And unfortunately, already had to play it for about a few minutes and already had nightmares about it, okay? Pretty much Resident Evil Survivor, or as it's known in Japan, is a biohazard gun survival game, okay? It's a light gun shooter. Pretty much think House of the Dead kind of crap. But House of the Dead, fun. This game, not fun. Now, it was released in North America, for us, August 30th of 2000. Now here's the thing, and I believe Happy went over this. The American version did not allow the use of the gun con. Any other light gun mode, which I have no idea why. Now, the plot is self-explanatory, okay? If you really give a shit about the plot. Honestly enough, though, here's the thing. There was a second gun survival game many people don't know about. With 3 sequels. Which, as to my knowledge, only one of them came out in the United States. So that should really tell you. Which I don't know why. Let's talk about the one that is not Resident Evil. Dino Stalker. Which is pretty much, as it's known in Japan, Gun Survivor 3 Dino Crisis. Yeah, I have never played this game. If anyone has, please tell me how bad it is, because it's a spin-off of the Dino Crisis. Dino Crisis games, the first 2, good. Dino Stalker, from what I've read, sucks. Maybe I'm wrong. I have no way to tell. The next 2. This one is the one that surprises people a bit. Code Veronica was actually one that was adapted to the gun survival mode as well. Called Resident Evil Survivor 2 Code Veronica. Gun Survivor 2 Biohazard Code Veronica in Japan. A first-person shooter released in 2001 as a co-production between Namcon and Capcom. and it is the sequel to the previous game, Resident Evil Survivor. Now, here's the thing on this one, folks. There was a PlayStation 2 version of Gun Survivor 2 was released in Japan in the PAL region. Unfortunately, it did not come to the United States, to my recollection. This was a, Japan and PAL release only. If I am wrong, call me on it and I will admit to it. Now, certain arcade machines had 2-player support. Now, the PlayStation 2 version of the game contained Dungeon Mode, which is a series of long levels that can be completed within a 30-minute time limit. In the game, you got Claire, Steve, Chris, and Wagojo. Yeah, the guy you give the freaking pills to stop the internal bleeding. Anyway, yeah, I actually was. This would have been nice if this would have come to the United States. Maybe it would have been better than Resident Evil fucking Survivor. Now, the last game on this, in this wonderful Resident Evil Gun Survivor, the fourth and final one, Resident Evil Dead Aim, which I had previously owned. This one is decent. You could probably pick it up cheap. Resident Evil Guns, Resident Evil Dead Aim, but be warned, it's a piece of crap. Not bad, but it's still a piece of crap. Well, guys, that's pretty much it for the games I picked up this week. Let me know what you think. Which one are you looking forward to for my review? If you already know what this game's about, yeah, you might know what I'm gonna say. So that's out of the. We know this game's crap. Okay, I think we can all agree this game's crap. But it's the kind of crap you want to buy to say, hey, I own this piece of shit. Other than that, let me know what you thought. Let me know what you think of the other games if you ever play them. Are you looking forward to me reviewing them, giving you a better detail of how the games work? Until next time, this is the DOUG saying, have a good night. Well, have a good Sunday, I should say, and have a great new week coming up. Until then, I am out of here. Woo!